Excellent. So, good morning, good afternoon, and evening. I want to thank you all for joining us today. I do hope today's session is both informative and insightful. This session is being recorded, so if you're unwilling or unable to be a part of the recording, please drop off. My name is Ibrahim Nalwala. I'm a co-founder of IoTap and Work 365. I am joined by Ismail Alwala. He's our CEO and he's based out of Washington, D.C., US, and I'm based out of Mumbai, India. We're planning to go for 30 to 45 minutes today. Our company, IoTap, is the creator of Work 365, a subscription management and billing automation application built on Dynamics 365. So a quick look at our agenda. We will cover a little bit of the new commerce experience changes. I am by no means an authority on new commerce, but we pay attention to it to accommodate the features and changes we need for our users so that they can transact, invoice, and grow their subscription business and Microsoft business. We'll hopefully see Work 365 in action and share a preview of the next release. If you are an existing user, I think the changes will seem logical and intuitive, hopefully. And we'll leave some time at the end for questions. So if you have any, please feel free to post them in the chat window. So let's go back in time a little bit. I'd like to share some history and context. This is an announcement from almost 10 years ago. We implemented Office 365 using our IURs in Jan of 2011. And this was a big announcement that year. And the dream and vision was this: global services offered through partners, which would allow the ecosystem to package and bundle Microsoft services with their own products. And then Microsoft wanted to showcase a list of providers that customers could contact to buy these amazing products and services. And guess what? They were available, if you can see here, they were available in a doc file. The point is, when they launched the program, the list was big enough to fit in a doc file. Fast forward to 10 years, lots of change, lots of partners. And one thing is for sure, that you can't use a doc file anymore to list out CSP partners. There are close to 90,000 partners who transact in the CSP program today. Now, another thing I wanted to share with you, because this is also important for the conversation today, is Microsoft CRM 1.0 was released in January 2003. If you had looked at it back then, you would definitely not be surprised that they skipped version 2.0 completely and went to version 3.0. In fact, we've been working with CRM since that version, and we have team members who started using it at that point. I guess the main reason I'm bringing this up is because on both the occasions, history was being made with the cloud and business applications, and where we are today will attest to that. Today, this is what Dynamics looks like. It's a collection of apps, platform, and services that run on Azure with thousands of partners building verticalized and industry solutions and having millions of users use this platform and the applications. I'd like to do a quick poll now that'll help us get a sense of the audience and make sure we can structure the conversation according to you. So I'm going to just start my poll right now. And I would really like it if you could give me some feedback, because that would help us, like I said, drive the conversation. I'm hoping the poll is visible to you right now, and I'm waiting for some responses. I'll give it a few seconds.
I can see the poll.
All right, great. We'll just give it a couple more seconds. We have most of the responses in, and I'm going to close it. All right, great. Oh, wow. Okay. So most of you are direct. Great, great. So this brings me to the current topic at hand, the new commerce. I believe this was launched in 2019. With this platform, Microsoft was going to bring together all the services from provisioning and billing standpoint into the modern platform. The changes to the partner experience with Partner Center, partner portals were also part of this initiative. The legacy platform that is still actively being used for managing resale and customers was based on open and other licensing services. The new Azure Plan experience was the first offering in the modern commerce platform. A lot of you have probably transitioned over to Azure Plan for your customers, and the Partner Center is also tied to the commerce platform. I'm not aware of the enforcement date right now, but Office 365 and Dynamics is about a year away from being available on the new commerce platform. So that means the billing dates will change for these services as well. So this table summarizes the modern commerce offerings and features. From a Work 365 standpoint, all the items to the left of the seat-based online services are treated as non-recurring or one-time items. They're really like rental leases. Microsoft is a landlord and has a targeted contract value and allows you to pay for these services either on an upfront basis or spread out the payments over the term of the agreement, just like a lease. You, as the reseller, have the ability to do the same. The software subscription or as a reservation has a term just like a lease for 1 or 3 years. How your buyer pays for it is based on your agreements and sales contracts with them. Today, hopefully, we will show you how we support some of these scenarios and are able to leverage and as well as abstract and have your own freedom on how you bill, how you set up your agreements, how you have your own currencies, how you're able to do invoicing and reconciliation, and how the system will also allow you to automate some of the agreement processes. Moving on. So there's a long list of changes that have taken place. Let me just recap some of those. Microsoft set performance standards for direct CSPs to $300,000 a few months ago, I think about 6-7 months ago. They basically said they don't want to be dealing with partners who are less than 300K in direct revenue for them. I believe effective Jan 1st, the managed reseller incentive program is no longer available. The future versions of Exchange Server and SharePoint Server will only be available on subscription basis. Microsoft announced that perpetual licenses are available in CSP. From July 1st this year, no new SKUs, products, or promotions will be added to the open license program. They also announced they're retiring the open license program, a hero program of theirs, which is 20 years old in Jan 2022. July this year, 2 big commercial offers are coming up in the CSP perpetual program, which is the Get Genuine Windows and Visual Studio. Earlier this month, and maybe a few weeks ago, Microsoft published the 2021 release Wave 1 plan for Dynamics and the Power Platform. And what was obvious for those of you who attended it, there's a lot of effort and innovation going into both these platforms. So as partners, there are some questions being asked, and at the same time, some things which are getting very clear. What is clear is that there will be change. The CSP program is the hero program to transact. Subscriptions will make up a large part of your revenue mix, and that there is a lot of excitement and push on Dynamics and Power Platform. Maybe the most there ever has been since its 1.0 days. As partners, we need to have systems and applications that allow us to cope with these 4 realities, but more importantly, capitalize on them to thrive and succeed. Having said that, I'll now let Ismail take over, where he will show us the next release and a demo of Work 365. Ismail, over to you.
Great, thank you. Ibrahim, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, I'm hoping everybody can hear me as well. I'm going to start sharing my screen, just one moment. I'll take over the presentation here. Come on. Just one moment. Hold on, Ibrahim. I think we have to make you the presenter. Yeah, I think, hold on. I'm going to do that right now.
All right.
Okay, I got it.
Got it.
Yep. Okay, hopefully you're seeing my screen.
I can see your screen. Let me just ask the audience whether they can.
Just one moment to go back into presentation mode. Okay, I think I'm good now.
Yeah.
Can you go back one slide? Okay, great. I'm back, I think. Thank you.
Yes, I can
So,
see it. Yep.
good. So today we'll talk a little bit about the upcoming release, but I'll also give you a little bit of an overview of Work 365 in case you're new and haven't had a chance to look at the application. So this is actually going to be our 15th public release of the application. Some of you on this call, I think, have been part of the journey with us since the beginning. So thank you very much for hanging in there. Hopefully it's been fun, and Microsoft certainly keeps us on our toes. All right, let me go to the next slide here. Okay. So for those of you that are new to Work 365, a quick introduction. We're a subscription management and a billing automation application that helps you scale and streamline your processes around recurring subscription-based revenue, right? Work 365 has 4 major application areas: billing, subscription management, self-service, and payments. We're built entirely on the Dynamics 365 platform. Actually, the sales application as a native Dynamics CRM app. So you're able to use all of the Dynamics sales capabilities, including actually even the service management application. And you can then also leverage the power of the entire platform, including Power Apps, portals, Power Automate, Power BI, to do a lot more than just sales or subscription billing. We support multi-currency, multi-language environments, and we're able to generate invoices in now several languages as well. Okay, so subscription management, sounds simple, but it can be pretty challenging. The main thing about subscription billing, at least for CSP customers, is managing all these different aspects of your sales, right, and billing. So you've got different dates, you've got price changes that are happening, you've got different billing frequencies, potentially different payment terms. You may be even packaging and bundling services. So these are the kinds of challenges that most partners who are in the CSP space or anybody doing subscription billing will deal with, right? So what I'll do today is give you a quick demo, and then we'll go through some of the other stuff. I'll try to keep my demo to about 10 minutes. And here we go. Okay. Hopefully you can see my screen.
Yep.
Abraham, you're able to see Sky Blue?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So this is my demo environment. It's basically Dynamics CRM. If I click into this, you'll notice that I have a whole bunch of other applications as well, and Work 365 is just one of those apps that's installed alongside the other Dynamics applications. I'm now within the Work 365 app, and you'll notice that I have a bunch of different application areas. So we'll spend most of our time today in the subscription management and billing area. Now, Work 365 is a billing automation system. So the core thing that it does is manage billing contracts. I'm looking at the billing contracts currently in my system. The one I usually like to play around with is for this company called Blue Yonder. I looked that up here. And you'll notice that I have more than one billing contract for Blue Yonder. So this is possible. You may have an annual contract, you may have a monthly contract, you may have some services bundled in a certain way. And generally a billing contract is set up after the sale, right? You close a sale, you bring a customer on board, that's when you set up the billing contract. So we're going to look at this monthly contract for this customer called Blue Yonder. Now this is going to encapsulate all the different terms of the sales agreement. Things like, how do they pay? What is the billing frequency? It's going to have the key dates, like when did the relationship start? You can also manage the renewal process here. I'm visually able to see how valuable this relationship is to the company, right? It's about $2,000 a month. We expected about $35,000 a year, but currently we're at $22,000. I've got some payment information in here, like the terms, billing contacts, the billing frequency as well, which basically automates the invoicing process. So you'll notice here that there's a next invoice date. Because this billing relationship was set up on the 26th, every 27th, there's an automatic invoice that's generated by the system. Now you're able to track agreements as well against the billing contract. There's a billing automation section in the bottom. Really, this is basically what's going to automate the process around billing. Generally, if you're doing monthly billing, these checkboxes make a lot of sense, where you'll sync the invoice, send the invoice, and actually potentially even charge the invoice, because Work 365 can automatically generate that monthly invoice for you. So let's look at how that actually works. I'm going to show you one simple scenario today. Now, associated with this billing contract are subscriptions, non-recurring items, and you can even do service-based billing in Work 365 now. You can do time-based T&M billing. All right, let's look at the subscription stuff, because I'm sure this is the most interesting right now. You probably recognize a lot of these as Microsoft CSP subscriptions, but this one is not a typical CSP subscription. This particular subscription is a product or package offering that this company, Sky Blue, has developed for its own customers. Okay, if I look under the hood, this particular subscription or service actually includes a basic email plan, some backup, and some support and migration services. So combined, these services combined is what they're calling the Business Basic Plan. It's being sold to this customer, Blue Yonder, at the customer specific price of $18. So this is not a price that's generic across all customers, but it was a negotiated price. They're paying $18 a month per user. Now, let's take a typical scenario. Customer needs one more license. Now what I'm going to do is just basically change the quantity here. Let's say it was ordered by my customer, Ibrahim, and it was ordered today, right? Now, this is all I really have to do in the system. This could be an email that came in. This could be a phone call that came in. This can also be done directly through the self-service portal. It can be also automated through the sales order processing steps. We have integration of the sales order, and you can actually provision sales orders as well. What I want to point out here is that every subscription actually has a provider. So in this case, you notice this is a virtual subscription. There's really nothing to provision because the underlying subscriptions is what we're provisioning. Now, when I made that change, what the system automatically did is it went ahead and updated all the child subscriptions. So notice they're all now 24. It's also going to keep a track of every single change I make. And then this particular item, which is actually provisioned through the partner center, is going to get automatically provisioned as well. So if you look here, you'll notice that this particular item was changed, updated. There's nothing to provision here, so it goes automatically into not applicable state. When we look under the hood here, this is the actual Exchange Online plan provisioned with the partner center. This is also now going to be updated to 24, and every single change is tracked in the system. Okay. Now, because changes are all tracked in the system, we can generate accurate invoices every single time. These change logs track not only quantity changes, but also price changes, and you can also even schedule changes. Now, every month, an invoice is automatically generated. Notice that I have some open invoices here. The system knows how to prorate. You can also bundle Azure. You can bundle non-recurring items. Anything that you would typically sell into a customer, you can actually use Work 365 to provision and invoice. Now, this is an invoice that was generated on the 27th of March. If I was to show you what this actually looks like, I'm just going to export this out into a PDF. And with this, you'll be able to see all the proration and the regular billing cycles as well for the application. For the services, actually. Yeah, there we go. So, cycle changes, proration. If I had refunds, that would show up here correctly as well. Any additional data that you include in the subscriptions can also be included into the description of these items. So this is a one-click invoice that's generated just by using the application and tracking all the changes in the subscriptions and provisioning, which basically allows you to provision automatically as well. The reason this works well is because we tie the provisioning with the billing. When your provisioning system is separated or disconnected from your billing, you tend to have revenue leakage. This is why Work 365 is able to, plug those revenue leakages and also create that better customer experience. Now, quickly, I'll show you what this looks like for the customer. Now, I have this company, SkyBlue, actually has their own portal. I'm showing this to you here. This is a branded portal. You can certainly brand it with your own theme. We set it up for you using Azure AD. This is basically going to allow the customer to sign in. I have a tab here with that sign-in experience. So I'm basically logged in as Sydney Higa. She is the customer contact for that Blue Yonder company. I'm going to click sign in here. Ah, great. Okay, signing in. Oh, fantastic. Let me see if I can try again. Lovely. We'll try one more time.
The demo gods are not kind.
Yeah, fun stuff. I had a small internet outage, and I think that kind of disconnected some of my. Okay, here we go.
There we go.
This time. Yeah. So now I'm signed in. Basically, when I sign in, I'm presented with this menu. This is the Work 365 menu. Now, the subscriptions menu area basically gives the customer the same access to the information that you have within the system. Certainly, you can control a lot of things. You can prevent the customer from making modifications to certain subscriptions. You can even hide certain subscriptions. In this case, we're going to basically look at that CSP billing contract and all the subscriptions that were provisioned for that customer. Notice only the billable subscriptions show up. You can also look at the add-ons. You have, in this case, multi-level add-ons. The customer can make the change themselves. Now, when I click into this, notice that the change is visible. The last change is visible. In fact, the customer can see the entire change history. She can request an additional license and confirm that. Now, obviously, you can imagine what's going to happen is this will go all the way back into Work 365 and then also provision everything directly into Partner Center. Once she confirms this change, there's a notification that's sent out to your internal team, to the customer, and they can also then eventually manage the licenses directly from within this application. So when I click here, I'm looking at the licenses directly on my admin center. Okay, and I can then assign this to any of my users after I've requested the changes from my reseller, right? Okay, great, fantastic. So that's kind of what I wanted to share today from a demo standpoint. I'll go back into the application, go back into my presentation here. All right, so, we looked at some of these things. We looked at, billing frequencies, subscriptions, pricing, this, various other things in the demo, hopefully. Right now, what happens with CSP or any sort of subscription business is that it's really about scale. So when you take the same problem and compound it for many customers, it really becomes hard to manage, right? As you can see here, it looks like there's a lot to handle. It becomes kind of messy, and that's what we really do in the application is streamline all of this in one system with putting all your billing information in the system along with the subscriptions and the changes. Makes it easy to kind of scale and generate accurate invoices. All right, so when we first launched Work 365 in 2018, we supported the subscription billing, which is what Ibrahim was mentioning earlier, which was the online seats and Office 365 services. Since then, we've been making steady progress to support various revenue sources like non-recurring items, which was introduced in 2019. Last year, we introduced the labor component, which was time-based billing. And now in this year, we're going to introduce meter-based billing. Meter-based billing can be used by those of you that have your own cloud infrastructure. So you can basically develop your own meters, a little bit like how Azure works, but your own infrastructure in your own Azure. So this is something that's coming up this year. Now, let's take a look at the flow of data and the process, right? So you have the product catalog from Dynamics CRM. Work 365 actually has a service that feeds into the product catalog. Now, when you have the product catalog that reflects all the correct pricing and SKUs, that enables your sales process. Right from there, you can basically provision, as I was just showing in my demonstration. You can also bill and then collect cash. Now, what we're going to do is basically talk about some of the changes we're making. Let's start with the catalog. Currently, the product service supports cloud-based Office 365 licenses. In 3.7, we're going to enhance the catalog to support everything that you can provision through CSP. Next, once you have that catalog, you will be able to again, provision directly from within Work 365. So now those of you that have used Partner Center to provision Azure reservations will know how much time and how painful it can be. It can sometimes take up to 10 minutes to complete the provisioning of Azure reservations. On the invoicing side, you'll be able to control how these non-recurring items are invoiced. So it's not just a one-time upfront fee. You'll be able to have control over how you do this. We're also going to be releasing a brand new service called Advanced Azure Billing. This is really in response to the growth and complexity of the Azure-related billing. And we'll share some more details down the road when we get closer to our release dates for these things. We will enhance the billing automation capabilities of the application to give you more control. A lot of things are automated. We'll now allow for the automation to be controlled by you as well. We're also enhancing the payments interfaces significantly to support Pay Now and eCheck capabilities for other providers like Stripe and Authorize.net. And then we're also going to be releasing native integrations to Business Central. And NetSuite actually. So these are the two accounting systems we're going to be releasing integrations for in the upcoming release. So hopefully, for those of you that are using these apps, you'll be able to push the Work 365 invoices directly into the accounting systems. Ibrahim, anything you want to add? Do you feel like I covered everything here from a change standpoint?
Yeah, and just maybe highlight a little bit more on the non-recurring and the abstraction, but maybe we can do that a little later.
Yeah, I think I'll cover that in my
yeah.
See if I can cover that in my demo, in my slides. Let me launch this next poll. We have one more poll. I'd like to share this with you.
Yep, we can see the poll.
So basically what I'd like to ask you is if you're already provisioning perpetual licenses or software subscriptions using your CSP program. We'll give it another 10, 20 seconds. Okay, interesting, very nice. I will share this poll. Almost everybody has voted. Thank you. So it looks like about literally 2/3 of the group is already provisioning CSP subscriptions, sorry, perpetual license through CSP, but some are planning on it, which is fantastic. Good. Okay. All right, let's continue to share with you how you can do this with Work 365. Come on. Okay. See. All right, great. Now, these are some of the slides I have for you from our future release. It's not something I can show you a live demo on, but We have the product catalog. A lot of you that are using the application may be familiar with it, but as of now, the catalog supports these items. Basically, you can pull in pricing for these items. In the new version of the application, you'll see additionally these items as well. You'll be able to see reserved instances, software subscriptions, and their pricing. Yeah, as I mentioned, CSP perpetual licenses will also show up here. You'll be able to import these into your catalog, which means you'll be able to, automatically include them in your quotes as well. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you enhance your catalog, you add everything into your catalog, and from there on, you want to provision. So you will be able to provision these non-recurring items by looking up the product from the catalog, as I'm showing here. You'll be able to select the frequency of the provisioning. So Microsoft allows you to pay them monthly in some instances. In this case, this is showing you that option. You'll be able to confirm that. Then you can obviously adjust your pricing for the specific non-recurring item, right? From here, what we're doing is, okay, we've got this with this non-recurring item, which we think of as a one-time purchase, set up and provisioned. You have the opportunity now to set up your billing relationship for your customer. So this is a new menu item that shows up, which allows you to set up the recurring billing. Once you select that option, you will now be able to convert that non-recurring item into a subscription. So this is an example of what that experience would look like. We had a price of $1,200. We basically said we're going to invoice the customer on a monthly basis. The system automatically calculates that monthly sales price, right, with the billing frequency that you set up. And then from there on, it'll set up the subscription. The non-recurring item will have that reference to the subscription. And before I move on here, notice that the non-recurring item will be converted to a non-billable item. So you're going to be billing the subscription and not the non-recurring item. This was used to provision the product. This subscription is what's going to be used to bill the customer. All right. Now, we talked earlier about different revenue sources, and I wanted to show an invoice that is generated from within Work 365 based on everything that you could potentially provision and bill a customer for, right? So here's an example of what that might look like. You might sell Office 365 SKUs. Great, right? We have that in here. You'll include your reserved instance that's now billed on a monthly basis to the customer. We have that. You'll be able to include your perpetual licenses as well, right? And your T&M-based time support. Okay. Next, I'd like to quickly mention, share some information rather about our integration with accounting systems. We did this analysis maybe a year ago where we looked at the profile of our users and the kinds of different systems they've been using. Interestingly, the profile this profile has stayed fairly consistent actually over the last 12 months since we started tracking it. So really the reality is that a third of our customers use QuickBooks. The next biggest user base tends to be in the BC Nav area. And then, as you can see here, other Dynamics products. This tends to be some of the more localized accounting systems in different countries. And, given this distribution, we thought it'd be important to support the QuickBooks integration. And so, sorry, not the QuickBooks, I meant the Business Central integration. And with that in mind, we're now working hard at building that out so that there's native integration within Work 365, so you're not having to do all the plumbing yourself or having to manually copy invoices over. And basically what this will allow you to do is sync up the catalog between the two systems sync up your accounts, and sync up the invoices. And we'll support the scenarios where you already have some integration, because these two systems can be natively integrated using the out-of-the-box capabilities as well. So yeah, we're excited about this. This will also be coming out here shortly. Okay, now we're getting to the home stretch. Just a final couple of slides. Azure billing is a big challenge. It is time dependent and time sensitive. It's based on consumption reporting from Microsoft, right? We have been supporting Azure billing ever since we first launched the application. However, what we've seen over the years is the vast consumption increase in resources that takes place because of the Azure data that's generated from large Azure partners. So as you bring on more customers, you're basically having to support those customers' needs from a reporting standpoint, from a scale standpoint, from a speed and performance standpoint. And some of this has an adverse impact on the way it's currently set up and built. So Dynamics CRM is a fantastic platform and application, but it is constrained in a way with large data sets. And we've seen this feedback now for the last year or so, as more and more of our users have started to generate larger Azure customers for themselves, which is great. So we're making significant investments on the technology side, on the infrastructure side, and also on the functional side, where hopefully you'll be able to generate invoices for your customers using various different reporting mechanisms and tags that are being reported from the Azure Modern Commerce platform. Hopefully you'll be able to offload some of the data from kind of stuffing up your Dynamics CRM system as well. So those are some of the other benefits you'll get. Yeah, so we're excited about this. This is also coming out soon. Okay, just in conclusion, I wanted to make a plug for us and kind of let you know why you should be thinking about Work 365 in case you're on the fence or wondering whether you should move forward. Basically, I mean, we're built on Dynamics. You're able to leverage your IURs, hopefully grow the adoption of your Dynamics platform and applications. Your data is going to reside in your CRM instance, right? Which gives you the opportunity to extend and do whatever you need to from a business process standpoint as well. As I mentioned earlier, we are multi-language, multi-currency, multi-country. You can set up multiple partner centers as well if you had to do that. And all that is supported within Work 365. Our pricing is not based on your revenue. You can use it for unlimited users. We are listed in the co-op guide, which means that any investment you make with us, you can reclaim from Microsoft's co-op funding that you may have available to you as part of your resale rebates and incentives. Check us out on AppSource. We have some great customer feedback from our users. We're very proud of that. We try to, do whatever we can to support the community and help our users and partners also scale their business. So thank you for that. And just in closing, basically just a few things to keep in mind. If you haven't utilized your co-op funds and you're thinking of doing it, the deadline is the 30th. All you need is a paid invoice from Work 365. We are going to be increasing our coverage to support the Asia Pac region more. We've realized that some of this can be challenging with time zones, and we're trying to address that. And this is kind of our first initiative in terms of doing that, with even doing these webinars in a friendly time zone. Yeah, and Microsoft is now in Q4, so hopefully some of you are getting ready for your awards. That's all I really had. Thank you very much for hanging in there with us. Any questions?
Yep, I guess we'll open it up for any questions right now. I guess we'll give it a few minutes, and if there's anything, we'd be happy to address them. So just give it a couple of minutes, see if there are any questions.
I always get this question on, when is it going to be available, and if the recording is going to be available. This recording will definitely be available. We'll post it on our channel and also on our Yammer site.
All right, I've gotten one question here. When is the next version going to be released?
So yeah, so early May, late April. I mean, most likely early May. Yeah.
All right. I have a question here on what version of BC are you going to support?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think the easy answer for that is Business Central Online. We're not currently going to support the on-prem version or NAV. It's going to be BC Online.
All right. Then I have a question here which says, will customers be able to see the items on the portal? I'm assuming what they mean is perpetual licenses that they've purchased. Will they be able to see them on the portal?
Yeah, so that's a great question. When you provision software subscriptions, you get keys. I believe that's kind of what I'm guessing this question is about. Your customers entitled to software keys. The keys are actually directly available to the customer on their admin center. So once you provision the service for them, or provision the product for them, your customer will be able to go into the admin center and find the keys directly there. So that's not something that will be done within Work 365 or the portal, but will be available to the users directly on the admin center.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I mean, it's also Microsoft's guidance, right? That these are highly proprietary and confidential information. It is better to let customers access them through those means as opposed to doing it some other way.
Yep.
Do you support block hour billing?
Great question also. At the moment, we have a very simplistic approach for block hour billing, but this is on our roadmap. At the moment, a block hour billing would be considered really a non-recurring item. You'd probably set it up as a product in your catalog. You may have a catalog item for 20 hours of consulting at a certain rate, and then bill that customer out with that. You can then use really Dynamic CRM itself to manage some of the entitlement and case tracking to reduce that. But it is a roadmap item for us. Block hour billing is only done as a non-recurring one-time item for now.
All right. And I think that's it. I don't see any more questions right now. Of course, we're available on the URL which is mentioned here, or you can reach out to us at sales@work365apps.com if there's any interest or any questions. We'd be happy to answer that. But I think that's a wrap. Anything from your end, Ismail, or should we?
No, I think that's great. Thank you very much, everybody, for hanging in there with us. And we'll publish all this on our sites. Yep.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye. Yep.
Bye.